Hello, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle, Vancouver by Night, New Blood. As a warning, this is a mature game and explores some dark and troubling themes. These may include body horror, gore, violence, loss of character agency, gaslighting, mind control, drug use, and many others. Our players have discussed consent and boundaries, and we collectively avoid situations that may be triggering. If any player gets uncomfortable during the game, they will use a yellow and red card in our private chat. If you as a viewer ever feel uncomfortable or triggered, please pause and step away. Our streams are going to be available on YouTube after the game. So you can go back to an episode when you feel ready or skip the entire episode if you want. So it's time to thank our sponsors. First up is Mikhail Artori of Artori Designs, who creates these beautiful dice boxes. You can visit him on Instagram, and the link will be in the chat. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff in here, including some dice that'll be mentioned in a few seconds. Illuminagents. Illuminagents is a comedy web series that weaves real conspiracy theories into its sci-fi short-form episodes. It is shot in Toronto, and this indie production will leave you laughing and questioning reality at the same time. You can watch season 1, which includes the musical finale episode and this guy, but not in the same episode, for free on Sika.tv. Orc Style. Orc Style is an adults only fantasy fetish fashion brand for you orc loving monster huggers out there. Orc Style shirts, underwear, and accessories are sure to drop your intelligence and increase your confidence by 10 points. They have also released their Chompers Orc Tusks. Chompers are perfect for cosplay, roleplay, and streaming. Orc style expert tusk enchanters infuse the spirits of great orcs, trolls, ogres, and goblins into magical tusks that will transform the common human into a fierce monster. There's a cat over here that's destroying a bunch of cardboard, so I apologize if there's any noise in the background. Martlet Games. Martlet Games is a collective of TTRPG veterans ready to work from you for tabletop RPG development to actual play production. They have contributed to various Storyteller Vault titles and sponsor channels like us to keep the World of Darkness a haven for those with stories to tell. You can visit their link in the chat to explore their world, and they can help you create yours. And speaking of those dice that I mentioned earlier, Adventure Dice. Adventure Dice is your Canadian source for dice, role playing game accessories, and other tabletop gaming goodies. Many of the items on their site are handcrafted in beautiful British Columbia, Canada, and I've got the Adventure Dice in here along with my Vampire Dice. I don't get them confused because one's green, the other one's like red and black. It's fine. And Demiplane. Last but certainly not least, Demiplane is an amazing resource that we use for our session 0 for character creation. It's a one-stop shop for all the stuff that you need for the game. You can look up discipline powers. You can read through the books on there. It's a lot easier than sifting through like 5 different books to find like one clan in each. And as of the time of this recording, Player's Guide should be out soon. Hopefully soon, I think. And their character creation tools on there, they're going to be having like character sheets and stuff like that. They should be available soon as well. I've been hearing it's really close to getting done. So now it's time to introduce our vampires after saying RIP to Dogmite Games. So let's start in the upper right hand corner up there with Michaela.
Bonjour, bonjour, dobro diecie, and hello. Hi, I am Cosmic Dazai. I'm going to be playing Violetta Tremblay, a manipulative Samitsi lawyer tonight.
Monica is unable to join us for this particular game, so we're gonna go over to Joanna.
Hello, my name is Joanna, and I will be playing Antonia for you today. She is the Coteries resident Ventru.
And over here is Chris.
Hello, my name's Chris, aka D&D Imposter on social media. I'll be playing Key, which is the Coteries um, cheerleader. Nobody believes in everybody else in this group like Key does.
And Elaine, you are muted.
Muted. How dare I? Hello, my name is Alan, and I'm playing the old man, who is the resident Nosferatu fixer, cleaner, now part-time, decorating assistant, and easily the best singer in the group, if not a little bit reluctant to do so in a public fashion.
Alrighty, and with that having been said, now that we've introduced all of the vampires in this coterie, so when last we saw the coterie of vampires that you see before you on screen, and you can go to our YouTube to check out previous episodes, they were doing a few different things, actually. They're still trying to get to the bottom of the mystery of why the Hekata were sending representatives into their club, the Dark Star, to take that over as a territory. And subsequently, at the same time, the prince decided to grant the coterie domain over not only their club, but a kind of block patterned area around it, kind of a section of the city itself. And news of this has traveled pretty fast in kindred circles. So they are the other kindred are interested in making deals. There's a whole lot of politicking that goes on in Vampire the Masquerade and vampire courts. Characters are trying to make deals with one another. It kind of keeps everything kind of on the up and up. It's a lot easier to stake an adversary for a couple decades rather than just killing them outright, because if you kill them outright, then whoever they owe boons to, whoever they owe favors to, tends to show up and wonder what happened to the person who owed them favors. So there's a lot of background politicking that goes on in kindred society, and a lot of it is happening right now. The coterie, if I recall correctly, weren't really too keen on everybody just kind of popping in and showing up and going, hey, let's make a deal about your particular area. So they decided that it would probably be best to go to the various kindred around the city, the representatives, and try to discuss with them beforehand. So, has the coterie decided on where we're going from here?
I think, and I'm not sure if I speak for everybody, but I think that we were going to go pay a visit to Violetta's clan. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what was happening? So,
I already feel my migraine.
are we going to pay a visit to the resident Zemissi? I don't have that T-shirt on. Sorry.
How could you?
I didn't know you were gonna pay a visit to the Zemissi before the episode. Otherwise, I would have ran and changed. I'll probably change during the break. Throw it on.
If I had known, I would have got the shower curtain, hung it up.
Go to our threadless store. Yeah. So how are you going about contacting the Zemissi? There is, I believe I posted it in our group chat. Did I post that in the general? I think I did. The map itself. There it is. So roughly Gastownish area is kind of Zemissi related.
We still have that one guy's car.
Sorry,
Did we ever get rid of that guy's car?
you did not.
Oh, let's do that.
I agree.
I'll take it. Yeah. Old man will take care of that, I think.
Yeah, we can do that off screen if you'd
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somehow in the sewers, a car shows up. Nobody knows how it got there.
I didn't say I put it there.
So, what you know of the Zemissi clan in Vancouver, much like a lot of the other Zemissi, they're kind of recent additions to the kindred in the area, mostly over the last 10 years. And they sort of took up residence in the Gastownish area. It's not entirely secretive, but it's not entirely like out in the open business for everyone to see. The name that keeps popping up as being in charge is Clara Stanislava.
Okay.
And I am very impressed in our closed captioner right there. It got Stanislava absolutely correct.
Guys, start speaking in Russian and Polish. It'll definitely pick this up. May I do a politics roll to see how much I know about her?
You certainly may. Intelligence plus politics. And let's so the last episode you ended off all in the same spot having a discussion. To explain the absence, we're just gonna probably do it this way, where Sophia was probably called about like 3 or 4 different things. She's concerned about the upcoming party that you all are going to be attending, possibly, depending on
Needs to attend to the
if-
swatches.
yeah, if she can strong arm you guys into it. She basically got her phone has been blowing up over the last 10 to 15 minutes. What color do you want for this? Pictures, and do you want this dress, or how do you want people to be dressed? What is the theme? Is it going to be masquerade themed? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? And then she most likely kind of flustered like she was at the end of the last episode, just kind of excuses herself and rushes off to make sure that things are perfectly set for a Toreador party, which is going to take quite a long time because this may not even get around to this particular season. So, Violetta, how did the roll go?
So I surged. I didn't get hungrier, so you can't hurt me right now. And I got 5 on a crit.
5 on a crit. Was it a messy crit?
It wasn't a messy crit. Can't get me right now.
5 on a crit. You would probably even know which building Clara is located in, and it is through Gastown. There's a lot of brownstone buildings. There's a lot of it's one of the older sections of Vancouver itself. It used to be kind of like meat packing ish area, that sort of thing. It's very very close to docks that are there, and it is kind of that section, much like Yaletown as well, which is a separate section of the city. There's kind of like a lot of connection to like railways, and there's one particular building that is pretty near to the station, the main hub of the SkyTrain, which is, for everybody who's not from Vancouver, SkyTrain is basically just a subway that goes outside occasionally. So yeah, it's near the main hub of the SkyTrain, but it's an old brownstone that it most certainly in its up until like maybe about 20 years ago was an actual meat packing plant. So yeah, that's kind of a Zemissy kind of right there thing. I probably got really quiet there. Yeah, it's probably like it's a Zemissy kind of like thing that definitely is like, if there was anywhere that a Zemissy would end up, it'd probably be there.
Okay. I know I probably shouldn't have to say this, but please do not act out of turn. Please don't be rude.
That sounds reasonable.
I think we should be okay. You trust us?
Huh?
I'm just imagining Key had like big eyes looking from Toja after she said that to like,
I think the old man is definitely going to exchange a look with Key, like,
this is my I'm always on my best face look.
this is
We'll
my
behave.
oh this is my, we all know that the Samitsi are just the same as the Nos, but with better outfits. So
I want that on a bumper sticker.
What did you just say about my clan?
I didn't say anything. I gave a look.
It's true. That was a look.
You're lucky for now. You are lucky for me.
Alone said you can't get me.
You can't get me.
Violetta, darling, we will behave ourselves. We understand that this is important to you. Much like you wouldn't, misbehave in front of somebody of my clan, I certainly wouldn't do the same of yours.
I'm going to be pleasant for tonight. I'm going to be pleasant. I'm not going to say anything that I think right now, because that would jeopardize how this works. I'm going to go and get something for us so we can bring it to what's her name? And this is me out of
It's Clara Stanislava.
Stanislava. For Stanislava, because it is necessary to be in her good graces, or else one of you are going to be turned into a chair.
It doesn't sound very bad.
I mean, I think that might be an issue for me. I'm not really fond of having people sit on me, so I think I'd prefer not being in a chair. So Violetta, yes, definitely go ahead, do what you need to do.
Thank you. I'll meet you there.
Is this your sister or something we're meeting?
No,
No? Oh, and sorry. I thought you said you were connected to important people. So
so lucky right now. You are so very lucky right
Just feel like Key just has their hands in their pockets, and they kind of like when somebody still has their hands in their pockets, like motions. So like they kind of like point their hands over to Violetta. This nice nice side of Violetta. It's weird. I don't like it.
now. I'm just going to leave at that point, and I'm going to make a call to my intern, my unpaid intern. That's
Okay.
what I'm calling it. Please don't tell me you Canadians have laws against unpaid interns.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
Oh,
a bunch of them.
anyway.
I mean, technically, if you're providing like room and board and they're your ghoul, you know, it still counts.
I'm my own HR, so technically I can't do any wrong.
Ride that
I'm
humanity
going-
wave right down to the bottom.
Wee.
Yeah. So you're placing a call.
Yes, I'm going to call him.
Okay. Yeah, boss.
I'm going to meet with a person in my family tonight, not the person who sent the note.
Right.
I am going to get back over to the apartment, and I want you to lay out my Cuban cigars along with the Austrian fountain pens that I have in there. Please organize them by date.
Right.
Do not smudge them, do not smoke them, do not mess with them. Just leave them out on my desk.
Got it.
How is the rest of your task going tonight?
Well, it's since it's been like 2 hours since you've been gone, it's not really proceeding a massively huge amount, really. It's going. Like, I managed to get a hold of a few things.
What are the few things?
Well, like, you definitely want them to be in a good place, right? You want them to be like in a, you know, an established area of the city. We've got lodgings set up for them, like
Yes.
long-term
Yes.
rental. We've got that set up. We've got like we've got contacted a few tailors who are, you know, in the know, who can deal with,
Right.
you know, random things like spines that are protruding, etc.
Right. Do what I say. Continue what you can for tonight. Work into tomorrow. I will reward you sufficiently after
right.
it's completed.
All right.
My ETA is around 30 minutes.
Can do, boss.
Thank you.
The oh, please, after you.
I just shut off the phone at that moment, saying reward sufficiently just has a sting in her mouth, like it's poison, and she's just shaking at this, but she just walks off and like gets a cat.
For everybody playing the home game, Zemissi are referred to as dragons. They're hoarders. They like having things. To give things away would definitely have a reaction from Violetta. Non happy one. Elaine, you were saying?
Yes, the old man would like to have followed Violetta out to her car.
All right.
He would have waited for her to finish her Paul. Or sorry, because she didn't go out to a car, but just to go outside, and he would have waited for her to finish her call there.
Why are you following me? What do you want?
Well, it's not what I want. It's what we need. All of us. You mean all of us.
What do you all need?
We need,
What
right?
do we need?
When we went and talked with the Nas, I took point, right? That made sense,
Yes.
right? But I don't want you to think I just did that because I am who I am. I did that because I also have an understanding that it's very important that we don't fuck this up.
I'm glad that you understand how imperative this is for me.
Okay, thank you for being glad that I understand this. I just want to make sure that you understand it also. All right. We'll do our best to not embarrass you and not get turned into chairs. I just want to make sure that you're taking your own advice, that you don't say or do the wrong thing at the wrong time, because I know where you come from. All right.
Or you insinuate that I don't have etiquette, that I
No.
don't have class.
No, insinuating that you might think that that's enough.
No. I don't.
So we won't fuck it up for you. Otherwise, we get turned into chairs. You don't fuck it up for us. Otherwise, we get turned into chairs. And so do you.
I already
Right?
know what my family is like.
All right.
No offense, but I don't need, my therapist told me that saying what I actually think can jeopardize things. So I won't call you gutter swine right now. My therapist told me that it would probably not be best to say what I think out loud, but I don't need to be told by you, of all people, how to act in front of my family. Trust me,
You're not
I know.
you're not hearing me then. I'm not telling you how to act because I don't know. I just want you on your A game. Because it counts for all of us, right? And I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't like you, right?
Like is
We
a
don't need to be
very
friends.
fancy term.
But we don't need to be friends, but this needs to work. That's it.
I understand that.
All right. Now I'll be in the gutter, and I hope you, wherever you need to go, are thinking really hard about that.
Yes, because I'm trying to save our ass. I don't need a bunch of dictation from you, of all people, on how I act in front of my goddamn clan. I already know. I already had my fingers broken in by more than one person in my clan. I already know.
As I start to walk away, I smile and I say, I like that first word that you had there, hour. Hour. I like that. And I walk away.
I'm dealing with a bunch of fucking communists. And I intend to.
Well.
And I get into my car.
All right. So we will fast forward the driving bit a little bit. Is anyone else making any preparations for heading into the Meat Sea territory?
I definitely called gunshot, but that's the only preparation I'm doing.
Old man, any prep?
Yeah, I don't know. Making sure that I'm like armed, making sure that I have like my cleanest dingies on, and yeah, just being ready for this to go well, but just in case it doesn't.
The finest of semi unstained track apparel
Oh.
underneath. Yeah. Antonia, any prep that you are doing?
Yes, Antonia is basically letting anyone and everyone who needs to know where exactly she's going to be, exactly which place, and what time to come and storm the building if she does not come out, if she is not back. And by this, we mean, the managers, security. She'll let them organize how they want to deal with it, but she also sends a message to her um, sire's ghoul, just to let them know and basically say, if I don't come out of this, let her know it was a pleasure. Just leave it at that.
You get back a text message after not too long that says, "Be wary but respectful of dragons."
Antonia sends back, absolutely, yes, am rather scared, but will manage.
You've heard this particular saying from your sire quite a lot. Chin up. And that's the entire text message.
Antonia doesn't send anything back. There's no need.
Ventru, on the other hand, um, for everybody who hasn't quite had any experience with Vampire the Masquerade, Ventru, think of like the worst boarding school experience you've ever had, and that's probably what the Ventru would have gone through before Embrace. Just chin up, balance the book on your head, walk in a straight line, do a dance, etc. Just they want perfection out of their prospective new members of the clan, much like the Zemissi also expect perfection. In fact, there's a lot of clans that are kind of dicks when they're embracing new members. Let's be honest. So
All I could think of was Edna mode when you were describing that.
no capes. So Violetta, whilst the rest of the coterie, minus Sophia, is making minor preparations for heading over, and then they eventually, I'm assuming, head over with whatever means of transportation. It's not too far, actually. You could even walk. So while that's happening, Violetta, you arrive back at your condo, and everything is exactly where you have left it. Pristinely. Everything is on display where you requested. The cigars are set out. And to your actual surprise, because they haven't been that great at doing this, your intern has it absolutely spot on perfect, right down to the direct angle, to the like millimeter, the open cigar box, the The pens are exactly how far apart you wanted them. One of the pens, however, one of the newer ones, has the slightest smudge on it.
Go ahead. I quickly try and find these white gloves that I tend to work with before my change in employment.
Yep.
And I just quickly just put them on. I'm just like very frantic with it before I just hold it up very finely before I just start trying to dab away at with a handkerchief.
It comes
Mm.
off.
Where are you?
Right here, boss.
What was this?
It's,
What was this?
it was the pens. You told me to put the you had the specific, like, how you wanted. I got them all. I'm pretty sure I got them all right. I didn't mess that one up, did I?
What? Shh, 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 shh. I'm talking. I'm talking. What is this? And she holds out the handkerchief with the dot of ink that was on it, or the smudge.
Uh, uh, uh I, uh, I didn't think that was. I didn't. Well, it's just like a minor smudge. It's fine, right?
It's not minor. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the dirt. Don't you understand?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a minor blemish. Could ruin everything. Minor blemishes. Minor blemishes. I don't think you understand how hard this is. Do you?
Uh. Yes.
That sounds like you don't understand the severity of what I'm doing.
I got everything set up the way you told me to set it up.
I just throw the pen harshly onto the desk. Put these into the ornate boxes I have on my counter.
Right.
Immediately,
Right. And he
and we will talk about this when I get back, because I do not have time to deal with the juveniles. Why?
he is not saying another word. He is dutifully putting on gloves and making sure that everything is going back into its ornate boxes.
I'm going to get changed. If it isn't how it should be, by the time I get changed, you better pray to whatever God you believe in that I calm down by then. Okay.
Not a word.
I'm going to go into my just walked off, just very frigid. And
And
I'm going to go into my room. I'm going to change into not the known outfit I was known for wearing when I was in my previous employment, but if like an outfit that is very similar to that. It's not casual, but it's more It's more formal. It's more made for, I can fight in this, but this is more, I'm trying to be formal.
So it's kind of like a military officer's uniform.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
correct.
Okay. Um, by the time you are out from changing, everything is exactly as you said that it should be.
You may continue with what you were doing.
Sure thing, boss.
Thank you. And go ahead, I take the boxes in hand and I go ahead and wrap them very neatly in this linen cloth before placing it within a basket.
Okay.
Just very detail oriented. She's doing it in this particular manner for a reason.
Okay.
And before she leaves, she like claps her hands just to make it very clear that she wants one more thing before she leaves.
Okay.
Have you been smoking or drinking anything tonight?
No.
Have you eaten tonight?
Yes.
Great. I am going to, because I don't think my character has a knife on me. Just go because she has realized she has forgotten one very important thing.
Feeding.
Not for myself.
Okay.
I am going to get a thermos if possible because there are no blood bags. And
There are
I'm
not.
going to do ritualistic bloodletting. Very not going into description about that, just I'm going to do some bloodletting, get into a thermos, take like a pint from him so he can still work around and move if he has like Lay's potato chips.
Or
And
get him some orange slices. He'll be fine.
or orange slices. Here's some apple juice. And
Does it have like a curly straw?
it's one of those
A
Sesame
juice
Street
box.
juice boxes.
Yep. It takes him a couple times to get the straw.
Yes.
Actually, here's another fun fact about Vancouver and Canada in general. Canada now has a law in place where single use plastics are banned, so this is a paper straw.
These goddamn hippies ruining things. It makes me happy to pollute the planet.
So, Violetta, you probably have a, I won't say artisanal thermos, but it's like a fancy stainless steel, probably an engravement on probably one of the ones that, when you were becoming a lawyer, it was probably one of those like you're the employee of the month type thing. Like instead of a pizza party, here's an artisanal thermos. Yeah, you're able to
Great.
put it in that, no problem.
Great. I'm just going to like quickly like wrap it up with like a bandage or a towel or something. And after I put everything and set neatly into the basket, I'm just going to look at him. Get back to work.
Uh, and you've you're a vampire. You've seen this before. He definitely has a sluggish tone to him. Like, yes, boss. And they get up and they kind of stumble over to the phone where they had been, and they take out notepad out of the drawer of the things that they wrote down, of the things that you want for when your sire eventually shows up. And we're going to have Violetta leave with the basket in tow. For everyone else, are you all walking, I'm assuming? It's a nice night.
He will be following whatever Doja's doing.
Yeah.
That's just what them and the old man do.
Are we waiting for Violetta to get back before we go?
Violetta said that she would meet you all there.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. In terms of comfort levels, I'm going to leave this up to the old man to decide how we get there. Because the old man's the one that's probably has the most concerns about walking around and stuff like that.
I mean, I got my hood up, and I can obfuscate away if I have to. So, I think a walk would do us some good here, I think.
Okay.
I
Sound
need to
good,
get
Keith?
I need to get my steps in. And Key just starts like quickly pacing forward.
Does he
All
have
right.
does he have one of the watches that
No, Key
tracks
just
steps?
likes
Okay.
counting to 100
Okay.
repeatedly.
So it's a fairly brisk walk. It's not too far away. Once you get there though, you're looking out over the bay. It's a kind of a standard Vancouver evening in the world of darkness, in which it's not raining currently, but there are puddles on the ground showing that it has rained within the last 12 hours. It is, if you were all human, it would be kind of a muggy, like humid feel to it, but none of you feel any of that. You are essentially the temperature that it is outside. It is a larger building. It's right near, I believe that's Metrotown Station, the hub of the SkyTrain. And it's a little further down from the convention center. If you follow the bay on the outside, it's an old brownstone. It's give or take about 2 stories, but it's set in kind of the hill of that particular area of Vancouver. You can tell that there's definitely probably a basement, if not a sub basement, to this building. So there's probably, give or take, about 4 layers. And it still looks like a brownstone, but to vampires it looks a little bit different. There are gargoyles on this particular brownstone. They don't seem to be moving, but they're there. And it seems cleaner. Like that particular area of Vancouver, there's a lived-in aspect to the buildings that you can feel the age of the buildings. It's not that this building feels like newer, like recently built. It feels as if someone has cleaned this building excessively. Like, if in ordinary brickwork, there's kind of like a dusty grime, especially in Vancouver, with wildfire smoke and similar things in the environment. But this building seems clean, like really clean. And it's at that point that you get there that we're going to take a bit of a break because it's about that time. So come on back in about 7 minutes, everybody, and we'll find out who the meat C happens to be.
Ah.
I can't wait.
Come on back in 7, everybody. Welcome back, everyone. And we are going to be paying a visit to the meat seed. The misseed. Sorry, my bad. How could I have mistaken those two words? So everyone has arrived except for Violetta. Violetta was going to be meeting them there. And it is, as described previously, a extremely well-kept building. So, what is everyone doing once you get there?
Waiting for Violet.
Probably a good
Mhm.
idea. So, let's fast forward a couple minutes to Violetta coming up on the scene. Violetta, how would you have arrived? Driven, walked?
So I definitely have ordered a cab, so a drive.
Okay.
And I step out, changed from earlier within my pseudo-militaristic garb. I'm pretty sure no one is really aware of it unless they know my past, which I'm pretty sure I would have said anything about. Um, and essentially, I'm just, I come out with the basket in hand and I look between everyone. Have you all been waiting long?
Only moments.
Great. So, I have a bunch of gifts. We are going to give Stanislava these gifts. We're all going to introduce ourselves. We are going to be very polite. And then when she asks why we are there, we will say why we are here. Is that understood?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great.
Violetta,
And
can I ask one question? Those things up there, and Antonia points up to the gargoyles. Are those actually real?
would I know if Clara has real blood?
She does not, as far as you know.
Probably not, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were. Best to
Antonia
be
makes
on
a
guard
note.
anyway.
So,
Are we ready to go in?
Yes.
as you say that, someone walks up to the group. They're kind of plain looking, but they're dressed in a suit. And they walk up to you, and they're kind of glancing to each one of you. Once they get to Violetta, the rest of their expression doesn't change, but their eyebrow kind of raises, like, and greetings. Who might I say is calling?
Good evening. Apologies for disrupting you and the rest of the clan tonight. My name is Violetta Tremblay, child of Matteo Grimaldi. This is the rest of my coterie. we are here to discuss, hoping to have audience with Stanislava. Because we recently came into acquisition of domain that is near Zimitzi domain, and we would wish to discuss it with her.
Yes, they are wanting to speak with you about that as well. One moment, and they take out a phone, and they're like, yes, indeed. Violetta plus 3 that I can see. Mm-hmm. Understood. Right this way, if you please.
Thank you.
And they lead you to what back in the day would have been like large doors for like driving a vehicle into. It's kind of like the domed at the top double doors that are large, wooden, very heavy wood that painted green. And they have, as would have been customary at the time, they have like the smaller door that would be human sized that somebody could walk through, so you don't have to swing wide the giant doors all the time. And he knocks on the door. The slot opens up. You can see 2 eyes on the other side. They kind of, the eyes kind of glance around at each of you, and then you can hear like what sounds like a large deadbolt getting shifted on the other side, and then the door opens outward. Right this way. And this particular ghoul, and you can definitely tell it's a ghoul, because there's kind of a lip at the bottom of the door. He offers his hands to each one of you in turn to help you over that particular, like, kind of block of the wood door that you would have to step over.
Not going to be rude, I want to just take his hand and then I thank him.
Antonia doesn't trust anybody in this building, so she's like, oh, it's quite all right. It's thank you though. I appreciate that. And she steps over on her own.
He nods. He and the old man.
After you, or whatever.
He's gonna walk up to where he's holding out his hand. They're gonna look up at him and smile at him for a second. Is there any reaction or no?
There doesn't seem to be. It seems like he just helped Violetta across. Antonia did not take the hand.
Key's just gonna nod and walk over it, not touching him.
Old man.
Is he still holding out his hand?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was holding his hand out for everybody who walked up.
The old man looks at the hand and looks at him like, oh man. And I just walk past.
All right. Once you're on the inside, it is completely different from what you saw on the outside. The outside was an old brownstone brick building. The inside looks as if someone with an exorbitant amount of money took stone by stone an ancient European castle and moved it to Vancouver. It looks like there's a large kind of hallway that is like old castle like stone, like large stones. And it has like tapestries along the walls on either side of the hallway. It has kind of old, ornate looking wooden tables that are off to the side with like a fancy chair on either side of it for discussions. And the ghoul, upon coming in after all four of you, nods to the person who had been behind the door, and they close the door. You can see now that it is a large, like at least 3 or 4 inch in diameter, like large chunk of metal that he slides over, and it's a deadbolt. And he goes and he sits beside the door in a chair. And the initial ghoul, the one in the suit, comes around. If you would please write down this hallway, I will take you there.
Before Key walks down, Key's gonna take out their chapstick and put it on the ground. Does it roll?
It does not.
Key's gonna take their chapstick back and then just follow the group if they had moved on.
And the ghoul leads you down the hallway. It is voluminous. Like the walk that you have, the steps that they make are just kind of like you can hear the echoes off of the various walls. At the end of the hallway, there's another set of large doors. These ones they appear to be made of steel. And he pushes one of them open rather effortlessly, considering what it looks like to be made of. And on the other side, there's a large room with a massive wooden table in the center of it, down the center of it. The table looks extremely old and extremely heavy, and it has seating for probably about 20 to 30 people. And there are chairs for all of those people. And at the other side, there's a few steps. There's about 3 steps that are standard size steps. And there is someone who's sitting, it's almost like a throne room. There's someone sitting at the top of that, and there's like the large kind of, not necessarily altar like, but it you're getting that kind of vibe from it. And that they're in a large seat, and there's someone to their left in kind of a smaller seat that is designed so that when you're talking to the person that is in the center seat, their eye line is higher than the person that is beside them. And this particular person in the center seat, they are tall, almost, it seems almost Slender Man-ish as to how tall they are. Like their limbs don't seem to be in the correct proportion to the rest of their body. And they're dressed in an old looking suit. They've got the ruffles by their wrists that it seems like this suit has been around for centuries. And when your gaze drifts up to their face, it is not an alien looking face, but there is a lot of there's a lot of sharp angles. Like if you think about someone who has like very, very defined cheekbones, it's almost like their cheekbones may in fact almost be sharp. Like it seems like the angles of their chin seems like it's cut out of granite, but not in a like Venus de Milo type way. It seems like it's like somebody cut them out of granite, but they kind of took a little bit too much off when they were doing the actual lines. And the ghoul leads you past the large table to the foot of uh, the person that is sitting there. But halfway down the table, he stops and he goes, "Oh my, uh, apologies. I did not get any of your names other than Violetta. How would I announce your presence?"
I'm just going to start pointing over towards people. My apologies. This is Antonia of Clan Ventru. This is Key of the Ministry, and this is the old man of Nosferatu.
Excellent. And he can
Our one of
go ahead.
one of our other members is not present right now, but they are at Toreador.
Ah, thank you. And he, slightly more unsettled, leads you on. And he reaches the other end of the table. And he pauses at the end of the table, gives a from the waist bow, and motions you all to join him. And he, go ahead.
No, continue.
Okay. He kind of, he doesn't position you, he just moves his arm on the one side of himself to show that you are there. Esteemed Stanislava, may I present to you Violetta Tremblay of Clan Zemisi, Antonia of Clan Ventru, Key of the Clan Ministry,
Hello.
and there was a pause there anyway from him, but this pause seems almost pained. And the old man of Clan Nosferatu, and Clara Stanislava stands up, and she seems just incredibly tall. Greetings, fellow Canaanites. Welcome to my abode. I had Gustav bring you in. I was going to be sending Gustav to send you a message. I dearly wished to speak with you. Do you require any refreshments, this is my haven. You are all welcome. No harm will come to you. Do you need of anything?
At this moment, Violetta is, and I can roll etiquette for this. I am fine with that.
Okay.
Violetta is going to do almost like a knight's bow towards Clary with her head knelt down, not looking into her eyes until she gives any sort of like, yeah, okay, you can look at me. And I'm going to place the basket down in front of myself. Um, Good evening, Honorable Stanislava. Thank you for your hospitality. I would only wish that you take the pleasantries of myself and of my coterie into account as you allow us to stay within your haven for this temporary encounter. I can roll, by the way. I can roll. I can back this up. I can back this up.
For Violetta, I have 2 points of clarification that I would like to get. First point is, has the rest of the coterie seen Violetta bow in such a way?
No.
No.
This is weird to everybody else. This is
Mm-hmm.
The old man is not entirely surprised. Like, he's surprised at seeing it, but based on the conversation that they just had earlier, he's not entirely so surprised.
and
Antonia
Go
is
ahead.
not. Antonia is not really surprised either, but she does raise an eyebrow. She's not surprised because she figured there would be some sort of etiquette involved in all of this. Much more formal than she's used to, but she is still raising an eyebrow at the submissiveness of Violetta to this other clan member.
I feel like Key would have just snickered under their breath and then is going to do the chapstick thing again, like sneakily as they can.
The chapstick does not move.
Damn it. Okay.
This place is extremely level.
You knew what I was going for.
Yeah. The second point of clarification.
Yeah, Key's never seen this type of place before.
That's weird.
Old man?
Hmm?
It's like, no, I was like, I don't know what they're going for. So I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Why do you keep dropping your chapstick? Look what's going on. The second point of clarification for Violetta, your either charisma or manipulation, however you want to play that particular thing, and your etiquette. What is the dice pool? Because I'm fairly sure you can beat any target that I put on it.
I have 5, but I can rouse.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. You've been through this particular song and dance before. You know what to do. You know what cues to hit. Gustav, who you now know is the name of the first school, comes in, grabs the basket, and takes it aside. You, as Violetta, you would know that it's not even necessarily the gift. It's the thought process behind it. It's I'm giving a gift. You don't even have to look at it, but it's the gift. It's the point that you needed to make, essentially. So you and Stanislava goes back to sit down, and she leans her elbow out, and her arm is exceptionally long. Like if she was to touch her forehead, her arm would be like way over her head. But she kind of leans it in a way that in the curve of the elbow, it looks really weird. And she touches her lips and she's like, "You are welcome. But you are the coterie that I have heard so much about. The coterie that now has a piece of my territory."
I am going to try my best, if you will allow me, to do either a subterfuge roll or a persuasion roll to like kind of make it clear that I was not aware and like give the circumstances without giving away everything, just trying to clear up details, if you will.
Give me a pitch. What do you think you should roll? What would you like to get across?
Just like actually start speaking, or like what, like my thought.
No, like what do you think the role should be? Like, do you think it should be like manipulation? Like, what are you trying to get across on this one? Manipulation and subterfuge, perhaps.
Either that, yeah, sure. Either
Okay,
that or charisma. Yeah. Okay.
whichever one you feel like Violetta would use in this particular situation.
I'm going to search just to make sure things can't go bad. I am going to search.
I mean, even if you do surge, things can still, in fact, go bad.
I need more dice.
Is there anything equivalent to the help action in this game?
Not for this.
Hmm.
If you, that's an interesting thought, actually. What is the old man's like charisma or manipulation? What are your stats on those?
My manipulation is +3. So it's not the highest, but I am a jack of all things. When I pair it with other
And
things, it
anything, yeah,
bumps
it's basically
up a
5.
bit. Yeah. I mean, actually, if I paired it with my etiquette, it's only 4.
I got 6 on a crit.
Was it a messy crit?
It wasn't a messy crit.
And how did the rouse check go?
I didn't get hungrier.
All right, damn it.
I have a question.
He
Sure.
wants me to fail, guys. He wants me to fail.
What's the role if you're just trying to get a sense of if somebody's being deceitful or not?
That would be
Like-
let's go with a wits and awareness or wits and investigation.
Okay. 'Cause I'm
So
just
it was
curious.
6 crit for Violetta. How are you expressing those particular thoughts?
I still keep my position because she hasn't told me to get up yet. Your Honorable Stanislav, I will admit my ignorance on behalf of this and say that I was not aware that this was formally carved up of your territory, though myself and the rest of my coterie have had the belief that the prince is attempting to pit us against each other in this attempt to carve up territory where it is not necessary. We, of course, are grateful for the domain that we were given. However, as currently we see it, we believe that it is imperative to speak to you directly about the matter, as to make sure no suspicions arise, nor no miscommunications or any thoughts of illness towards myself or to the rest of my coterie. It was not on our behalf that we demanded this domain, nor did we wish for it to interject and cut into your own territory, nor any other clan for that matter. I understand that this apology is impromptu and perhaps ill-fitting, as something was taken from you. However, it was not done out of malice, nor of any personal intent, nor vendetta against you.
You are very much a tribute to us dragons. I have a request.
Please,
And please, and she gives you the motion that you would recognize as you can stand up.
I get up. I'm very much, I'm on thin ice right now.
The favor that I have is I seek information.
In, if I may interject, if it is not impolite, what manner of information do you require? Is it kind focus or canine focus?
Oh, it is very much canine focused.
Please proceed.
I would like for you to find out for me why. My territory was not formalized with the prince. Therefore, I take no overt offense. Now it is formalized with the prince. But I had an idea for the corner that is in now your territory that was once in mine.
Was the prince aware of this idea?
She was very aware.
If it would not be impolite or insensitive of me to ask, what was this idea that you asked the prince of?
Oh, I didn't ask the prince. I just have a feeling that she knew that I had intentions for that block of land.
What were, oh my, what were the intentions? I'm sorry. What were the
We
intentions?
we dragons are of the people. I had intended to create a housing development.
Do you believe that this infringed on any plan, whether you know it or not, that the prince had to take specifically that plot of land away from you?
I do not know that for certain.
if it is all right for myself to consult the rest of my coterie before you, as we believe in equal representation between all of the members. Would it be all right if I were to ask them their inquiries and thoughts on this matter?
She doesn't say anything, but she gives kind of a wave as an acknowledgement of proceed.
I bow my head and I say thank you before turning back towards the group and like, get in, guys, get in.
I think I need to know as much as she does. I need to know now why we got to this territory, because this is more than just pitting us all against each other. There's something wrong here. Much more wrong than just pitting us against each other, and I didn't think that was possible.
So you think that this was done as, like, was the affected offense on the Seminitsi, was that the sole intention here, or was that just a side effect of some other ill intent?
I'm not sure. I just think that there's something that's going on here. We're the only coterie that has gotten a domain.
Okay.
One of us or all of us have either a red mark on our name with the prince, and the prince wishes to take advantage of that, or we've done something so wonderfully amazing that the prince wished to reward us at the expense of Zamisi.
Or we're expendable.
Well, yes, that's another option. I feel like we need to, before we make any deals on anybody transitioning through our territory, or whatever the case may be, I think we need to know what happened.
I agree.
But don't you remember what the other clients we encountered so far said? This was very much planned, which I think we're all in agreement about. But the only thing we need to know is why. The seneschal gave very little details before, and how the little details that he gave certainly aren't helping us now, especially when we have almost every clan that we've encountered saying that something was taken from them or something intersects with something else that they had in mind for our domain that we were given. It's a bit too convenient.
Violetta, I do not wish to speak with your clanmate without permission, but is it possible for you to ask whether or not she was in that meeting with the prince?
That was going to be one of my next questions.
We're on the same wavelength. Excellent.
Anything else?
Key, any thoughts?
I think Clara's kind of boring. But I'm on best behavior. I don't say anything right now. Violet is so proud of me. But I don't see why everyone's so upset about some conflict.
Honestly, the only reason that I'm upset is because I don't want to have to. Well, I mean, we all watch our backs all the time anyway, because we're kindred and politics and all that, but we've got such a big target on our backs, and I want to know why. That's all. I want to know why we have such a big target on our backs. Who has put this there? Why it's been put there?
Yes, exactly. I think it's fun.
Well, I think you and I have different definitions of fun.
It's okay.
But
We can
we
start
can-
getting our steps in together.
We can meet in the middle, I'm sure.
Do you think she's going to give us any snacks for the way home?
No,
Do
I
you
don't think
think
that.
you want any of her snacks?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Depends
but
on
I
the
would
snacks.
Yeah, honestly.
I feel like the
and
old
call me
manic
a
will
food
just
nerd.
start listing snacks like all of them. Maybe she has the juice boxes with the plastic illegal straws.
Oh yeah,
Those are
that's good.
very good ones. You never know. But best behavior. I stand here with my chapstick.
That being
I-
said, Viola, whatever way we go about getting this info after this, we need as much info as we can from her now.
I understand that
Then let's go.
because obviously she knows more than we do.
Ain't that always the truth?
At that, I just move away and I get back to like my formal position, like standing upright in front of Clara.
All right.
Honorable Stanislava, my coterie and I are in agreement that we will assist in finding information regarding the transaction of our domain. However, if it is all right with you, I'd like to ask a few questions.
She waves her hand once again in the manner of go proceed.
The seneschal, when giving us the acquired land, told us that there was a meeting about our acquisition. Were you in that meeting?
I was.
Given that you were in that meeting, you already know that Clan Ventrue was not in favor of us acquiring said domain. Were you also a vocal opposition voice, or was that just on the Ventrue's behalf?
I was a vocal opposition, as you say. But only so far as my territory. The rest of you can have whatever territories you so choose. Or bicker about whatever feeding rights, etc.
What other clans were present at this meeting, if you don't mind me asking?
I'd have to recall if you. If I recall correctly, the Nosferatu were there. They did not seem to have any opposition so long as they had their sewers. I don't think they cared. The Toreador were there. They were given art galleries across the city. Pretty much any art gallery, I believe, belongs to them. The Ventrue were in opposition. They were there. They did not give any details. The Toreador, I believe I mentioned. I would have to check my notes. I was there.
Do not wish to interrupt you. Was Clan La Sombra present?
Clan La Sombra was present. There was even representatives of And as she does this with her fingers and stretches them out, it is unnerving. There were even representatives of the lesser clans, the Anarch clans, the Gangrel, the Bruja, the Ministry. The Malkavians were there. I believe they were in opposition.
Do you recall what their reason to opposition was?
It's the Malkavians. They could have walked out the door and seen a wrapper on the ground and decided which way to go from there.
Acknowledged. It seems like, as of these past few nights, if I can be frank with you, Honorable Stanislava, that a lot of different clans
She holds up her
have been.
finger as you say that. You can be whoever you want. If you want to be Frank, that is up to you. Did I do that right, Gustav? Oh, yes. Yes. Very humorous. I apologize for interjecting. You may proceed.
Thank you. Nice joke. It seems as though a bunch of other clans have been coming to us asking for bits of territory or rights or access to the domain that we were given. Given what I'm telling you right now, what do you believe the prince's objectives were in giving us highly contested land?
Other than myself, I do not believe that they are highly contested. I've seen this sort of thing before. I I do not know if this is happening now or if it is something similar. Prince Bastian seems much smarter than the prince that I saw it under before. The prince before was an incompetent buffoon, and they made it so that the rest of the kindred in their domain were too busy making deals with each other to see what was actually going on. And what was actually going on was they were an incompetent buffoon. From what I understand, the types of meetings that you are describing are being held throughout the city through various clans. People are going to the Ventru territory, asking their permission to do things. Everyone is, what is the term? A flutter in trying to make deals in the background. The territory that you may or may not have seen on the map, that is Zemissi territory, is mine. No one is allowed in this territory other than our clan and esteemed guests. Keep that in mind. Now, as of now, your coterie is my esteemed guests. That is all.
I'm going to bow my head once more. I appreciate your generosity. Honorable Stanislava. If I may ask one last question, I will leave you to your night.
She does
And
the hand gesture.
what would your advice be, given the circumstances and given what you have previously seen under former prince?
My advice would be to make deals with whom you can, but be wary about those deals. If you would like, I can send Gustav along with you to finalize a deal. Gustav has my permission to make a deal with your coterie. I was about to send him before you arrived, so your arrival is quite fortunate.
Would you be amendable to a written agreement that is discussed prior between our parties?
That would be agreeable.
That was me messing up. That was my brain. Would you be agree? Apologies for my misspeaking.
She waves it off.
Psst, Violetta.
Just not gonna say anything. Just not
Just
gonna
a little bit
say-
louder, like behind, just
not
like takes a little
gonna
step.
say-
Violetta, I have a question. Okay, then I'll just ask it. Okay. Don't say anything if you want me to ask it. Excuse me, I have a question.
It's extremely slow, but Clara turns her attention towards Key and does the hand gesture.
Yes. Violetta said how generous you were, so I'm just curious what this housing development was.
In order for a domain to thrive, it needs different people in it. Different, what is the term? Classes of people?
Yes, classes is perfect word.
I was going to be putting up, because there is so much higher class in Vancouver. I was going to start readjusting things to disrupt some of the venture dealings. I was going to put, what is the term, Gustav? And Gustav is like, low rent housing. Yes, that.
Oh, thank you for answering my question. And Key like does this just ungodly weird split my body in two half bow thing, and then like turn around, give like a tiny little thumbs up to the old man, like with their back turned to Clara, and then turn back around.
the old man is like a little shook at first, but then goes,
Antonia turns her head to Violetta and says,
Louder, stage whisper.
May I?
No, sure, I don't think you can be as bad as Key. Just don't overstep it, please.
Apologies, Captain.
Stanislava, thank you for your hospitality on behalf of myself and my line. I understand wishing to disrupt the venture dealings. I myself, being a venture, don't necessarily have the same idea of how dealings should be done as the others of my clan. We have different ways of doing things. Was the plan for the housing development in the same area as the club that I am currently in possession of?
It was adjacent to that area.
All right. I see that there might be value in this for myself and my line as Ventru and those in my circle, perhaps with Violetta's input, we can combine our forces to disrupt the market, so to speak, in the area that you have chosen for this development in a more formal manner. Perhaps we can arrange for a business meeting at a neutral location, perhaps, so as to not impose any further on you.
As I mentioned, Gustav will be frequenting your club. If you have any meetings or any messages, any discussions you wish to have with me, make sure that Gustav knows of them, and then Gustav will inform me.
Excellent. I thank you again for your hospitality, and I will make use of Gustav's expertise.
Gustav is looking real nervous right about now.
I clock that, and I just kind of look him in the eye and just. I don't overtly, but just like very, very subtly just hold out my hand.
Gustav isn't moving. He's just looking real nervous.
Uh-huh.
If that is all, if you need of any refreshments, inform Gustav on the way out. And I bid you adieu. Adieu, it's adieu, right? Yes. Yes.
Violetta is just going to put her hand over her heart, bow again. Thank you for your time. Satisfied.
It is always good to meet a fellow dragon.
The feeling is mutual. And then I get back up and then I just wait to be let out.
He's just gonna I feel like he's just gonna awkwardly stand there until Gustav comes down.
Yeah, Gustav is walking right this way.
Is this where the snacks are?
The you will see the refreshments are on the way out.
Oh yes, fancy words. Refreshments. Very nice.
Is everyone following Gustav?
Let's go.
He leads you out, and in that hallway, once you get out of the main room, there are various containers for your types of refreshment. There is like bags of blood arranged on one of the tables. There's like a punch bowl with obviously a massive amount of blood in it. There's even like there's at least 3 or 4 humans that are there. Does anyone partake?
This is just because of Key and the old man's relationship, I feel like they turn to them and they're just gonna be like, this is kind of boring. I don't
Yeah,
just
And I
takes all
don't
the
think-
fun out of it.
I don't think the humans are the go. You know.
No, do you see his shoes? He's wearing the sneakers, not even the good
No.
ones. It'd be cool if they lit up, like make on chase them around. No, it's just Violet, are you taking goodie bag? Doja?
No, that would be rude.
Oh, it's rude.
Just because
That's
it's
what I-
offered doesn't mean you should take it.
Gustav, can we can take these ones? And Key's just gonna point to the humans. Like take?
Well, you can drink from them.
See, I told you.
Oh, we can't take them. You just borrow them for 2. Oh, okay.
All right, let's go. We've done enough here. Come on.
So you're all making your way out.
I'm just going to say thank you again to Gustav as we're leaving it. Just as like Key and the old man are going back and forth. I'm just like,
Glasses.
I get the feeling Key and the old man are going to be going back and forth on this one for a fair chunk of time.
Yeah, for a bit, for
a little bit.
But I do. But the old man does take a second to turn to Violetta and say, "Hey,
what is it?
that's it."
For now, that's it.
Right before they leave, can Key smell the blood in the punch bowl?
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Does
You
it-
know those
Does it
things.
smell?
It's
Does
the
it smell
whole-
fresh?
It is very fresh.
Okay, Key's gonna take it and just dip their finger in it and just over their eyes.
You
Okay.
know the
Okay.
thing that the parents put on their children when they're walking them out on the street? We need
leash?
that for
Oh.
like one of those like baby harnesses so you don't run off that.
Come on.
Come on.
And on that note, it is a good place to end this particular episode because I have a feeling that
I
when
had
we
to update
get
my makeup.
when we get Sophia back next episode, I have a strange feeling that this is going to be a discussion.
Really? No.
So thank you all for watching. Thanks for any bits and or subscriptions you felt to send our way. We're going to do a quick round table of everybody to let everybody know where they're going to be next. Let all you know where you can find them next. And yeah, let's start over here with the old man, Elaine.
Hello, my name is Alan, and I have been your resident Nos, the old man. You can find me at Questline. That's on Twitch. That's Questline D&D. On YouTube, that is Questline, where we make and stream lots of tabletop content. You can also find me in some sketch and comedy work on Second besties. And yeah, you can find me anywhere and everywhere people ask me to be politely.
It's true. I asked Elaine to be here politely. He was like,
So
yeah.
polite. It was
Yeah.
great. I was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's great.
If I ever need anything from you, I'm just gonna keep sending the word please in separate messages until you respond.
Just like
It's a
14
fine
text
line.
messages.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll stop
We're
being-
Canadian. We're
Yeah.
polite, obviously.
And Chris.
Hello. I am Chris, aka Key, aka D&D Imposter on all socials. I am the lovable ministry member who is obviously a trendsetter today too. Look at me go. Anyways, let's not forget that Violetta bowed for a long time.
It was dope. I respect it.
Yep, I have it in my notes. It's canon.
Chris.
What?
Aren't you on a superhero show?
Oh shoot, I am. By the time this comes out, if I do the math in my head, it will still be going. I also play Nathira on the Heroes of Bastion, which is a Masks TTRPG AP that can be found on Alec the Bard's YouTube. Complete opposite of this character. Dear gods.
And up above me, Joanna.
Hi, my name is Joanna. I am Hyrule Gardener on all the socials. You will find me there. You will find me here playing vampire, and that's about it.
Ordinarily, this would be the time where we go, and it's time for Monica, but Monica was unable to make it for this episode, so I'm just going to say it. Buy Monica's book. That should be over there in the chat. And last but certainly not least, our resident dragon, Michaela.
Hello, I am Michaela, otherwise known as Cosmic_Dazai on the Twitter, on the Instagram. I do not have Threadless yet. On the Tumblr because I'm sad.
We gotta
can
get you on
find-
Blue Sky.
soon. You can find me probably by the time this airs, because I can't discuss things yet. On Girls from These Worlds, storytelling, my own VTM show where I torture my players for fun for 2 hours. And you can also find me here. I play Violetta, the not lovable, definitely control freak Samitsi. That is definitely not a bootlicker. Totally not.
He has a new goal in life.
What? Torture people for 2 hours running vampire? Who would
Yeah,
do
it was
that?
the smile for me when she said that. I just right in the microphone. Torture.
We're not a part of the ICC. You can't get me.
You can't.
Is that Michaela's bumper sticker? Hashtag you can't get me.
And this guy is Storyteller Steve. So, ways you can help out the channel. If you are watching us here on Twitch, give us a follow. If you have the monetary means, or if you have an Amazon Prime subscription and like spending Jeff Bezos' money, you can subscribe. That gives us a bit of cash, which we share with the peoples on the screen. If you are watching this on YouTube, give us a subscription over there, which is the free version, or you can become a member, which is only $3, which again helps us out monetarily, and the money goes to the folks on screen. Or you can sign up for our Patreon. Any session zeros and any like pre and post discussions that we have about the games, I will try to put those up on the $1 Patreon, and that you can check out for just $1. But if you want to watch episodes early, you can sign up for our $5 tier, and you can watch the next episode when you're seeing this. Most likely it's just about to get posted because I post that the day after this goes on Twitch and YouTube. So, also, one last thing, you can buy some of our merch, including the Meat Sea t-shirts, which I don't have on right now. But you can also buy the Meat Sea hats. You can buy the Meat Sea shower curtains. You can buy the Meat Sea beach towels. You can buy everything that you ever possibly could want as the Meat Sea, including mouse pads, like just everything. Yeah, so check that out, and we will find somebody to raid from here. If you're watching this on Twitch, if you're watching it on YouTube, they don't have the raid function yet, so it's weird. Yeah, so we will see you next week when we have more discussions about the politics of vampires. Have a good night, everybody.